Welcome, welcome. My name is Katrina Marie. I am a college counselor. I help students apply to college pretty much all over the world. And if you haven't been on a live with me, it's because I've never done one. So this is the first time I'm going to be having a live with you guys. Right now, at the time of this recording, it is April 2nd. 2024. And for those of you who are thinking about applying to college, or you know someone that's going to be applying to college, today I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 steps to begin the college application process. And the reason why I want to talk about this now is because applying to college is something that's going to take you some time. And with these 5 steps, it's going to be a proven system and method that's going to help you stay organized and get the results that you want. So how many things do we need to talk about today? There are 5 steps. So if you feel like this introduction you want to skip over, go ahead, that's totally fine. Nonetheless, I just want to introduce myself. As I said, I've been a college and career counselor for almost 20 years, and I've been helping students literally apply to college all over the world. And they've gotten into the top 100 universities, they've gotten into colleges pretty much on almost every continent in more than, a couple hundred countries. So if this is something that you are thinking about, and you are thinking about how do I apply here or how do I apply there, you can check out any one of my videos. Most of the time that information is there to help you with general advice, but if you're looking for more personalized advice, I advise you to get in touch with me on my website. There is a form where you can reach out to me and you can pay for a consultation call, and that consultation call will go towards your package if that's something you would like to do with me for the upcoming application cycle. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. I do have notes with me that's going to help me stay on track and make sure that we do this live and you get the most out of it. So with that being said, these are the 5 steps to help you begin the college application process. The first step is getting in the right mindset. So why do you want to get in the right mindset? Well, getting in the right mindset is because a lot of times people approach this process with a lot of fear, confusion. They don't know what to do. They feel like it's this big task, but realistically, it's not a very big task. It's actually a very simple process with the right guidance, with the right support, and you can literally do this on your own. You don't need to hire somebody. I want to empower people that if you follow instructions, if you read things carefully, you can pretty much do this on your own. But if you want the personalized guidance, if you want somebody to help kind of give you that extra edge, that's where I come in. That's where any college counselor will come in. So you want to ask yourself questions, as you start thinking about applying to college, what words come up for you when you think of the word college or university? Like, what comes to your mind? Maybe for you, it might be independence. Maybe for you, it might be freedom. Maybe it will be football games, or maybe it's moving away from home for the first time. So whatever that kind of looks like for you, you want to ask yourself, what words come up when I think the word college or university? And what are those feelings that you get? Is it excitement? Is it nervousness? Is it, uncertainty? What emotions come up with the words that associate with college and university? And are these feelings positive or are they negative? Maybe, like I said, it's freedom, maybe it's independence, and that's a really exciting feeling for you because maybe that's something you crave, or maybe you're feeling just not ready and so you don't feel so good about the process. Well, where do you think you learn these thoughts? Like, did you learn it from a family member? Did you learn it from a friend? Did you learn it from school? Who taught you these thoughts around going to college, going to university? So it's really important to check your mindset when you start this process, because if you're not monitoring your thoughts around this, most likely the outcome may not be in your favor. So we want to kind of catch this early on. And it's important to be aware of how you view this process because it is a very personal process applying to college. No 2 students that I've ever worked with has had an identical process of applying to college. So it's important that you understand that this is individualized just for you. So the next thing is reflection. So reflecting on what are your interests? So what makes you happy, essentially? What are your interests? What are your hobbies? What motivates you outside of the classroom? What lights you up? What do you enjoy learning? What are your favorite subjects? And if you're literally sitting there saying nothing, well, I invite you to think about what does actually make you happy, because I'm sure there is one thing out there that makes you feel happy, makes you feel like you are being your best self. And universities at the end of the day, yes, you're going to go there. Yes, you're going to go and study. Yes, you're going to, learn and hopefully get the skills that you can get a better job in the future. But they're also a community. So if you're somebody who has a hobby or an interest that's really awesome and really unique and you want to share it or find like-minded people, well, you're going to probably have a community out there at particular universities that offer, student clubs and activities and sports and theater, all of the things that kind of make you who you are. So you want to think about what your interests are, what motivates and inspires you, what career interests you. And if you don't know that answer, that's okay, because I didn't at 16, 17 years old. And when I did think of a career at that age, I am not doing that today. So if you don't have everything all figured out, it is okay. Just know that applying to college does not mean you have to have it all figured out in this moment. You need to have it all figured out by the time you applied. It does help having a clear path. It does help having a guiding way, but it doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out. And I want to reassure you, because so many students that I work with think that they need to know exactly what they want to do at 16, 17 years old, and that is not the case, you guys. Let me tell you this, that is not the case. So what I studied in undergrad is not what I'm doing today. It is completely different. And I know that many people nowadays, they are going for traditional status quo careers like doctor, engineer, lawyer, business owner, psychologist, and that's okay. But you may not end up in that industry. You may take those skills and do something completely different. So don't be afraid of the endless possibilities that await you, because careers are being created every year with the advancement of society. So you just never know what job is waiting for you 5 to 10, 15 years down the line. And think about, what do you want to learn? What do you want to learn when you go to college? What excites you? What are you fascinated by? What are you curious about? What qualities are you seeking in terms of your learning? And ask yourself, what kind of learner are you? So are you somebody that likes a small classroom, or are you somebody that likes a huge lecture hall where the professor doesn't even know your name or know that you're in class? Is that important to you, or do you really want to have that connection with your professor and your classmates? Because maybe one day you want to apply to a graduate program and you need a letter of recommendation from your professors. It's going to be very difficult for them to write you a letter when you are 1 out of 500 students in a lecture hall. So you need to ask yourself, how do you like to learn in a classroom? And you need to ultimately ask you, when you think about applying to college, do you even feel ready? Do you feel ready to apply to college? Is this something that you're ready to do? Is this the next logical step for you? Or do you need to take a little bit more time, such as a gap year? And that's something that I also help students with, when they want to take some time off after applying, and then eventually they want to go back and apply for their bachelor's degree or whatnot. So do you want to actually go on to college? That's a real question that you need to ask yourself. Now, the next thing I want you to think about is beginning your research. So when you think about college and university, you might be thinking about a major or a program or even a location, or maybe that's where your friends are applying. That's pretty typical. But there's so much more to think about when you begin your research. So think of yourself in the very center of the circle, and then there's lots of branches, okay, around the circle, and little bubbles with other categories. So you want to think about, of course, what program in one of those bubbles. You want to think about the location. You definitely want to think about the cost. Can you even afford it? Do you need to get some scholarships or financial aid? Is there diversity on campus? How far away is it from your house? Is there certain faculty that you admire and follow and maybe we want to do research with? Do you like the size of the campus? Do you like a small campus or a huge campus? A huge campus is like 60,000 students. A small campus is less than 10,000. So there's a big difference in the size of the campus. And then, are there activities like sports, theater, clubs, societies? Are those things in existence? And are those things there for you to have an outlet when you don't want to study or when you need to take a break from studying? So these are all things that I want you to start thinking about, because they're real things. Just remember, you're not just going there to study 24/7. You actually are going to create a life, and possibly maybe you want to end up staying in that location. You're definitely going to want to make friends. You're definitely going to want to get to know your classmates and your professors. So why not find something called the best fit pathway for you, best fit university? And that all starts with research. I have videos on all of these topics already that are individualized, but this is the third step of my 5-step process, is beginning your research and using all of these different categories. Now, sometimes students, they may not find this information on a website. They may not find it in social media. Maybe the best way for you to figure out this information is getting on a call, like a call with a university representative, or maybe you want to get on a information session, which are usually online these days. So you can just sign up for these and you can kind of get the information. Sometimes there's a Q&A where you can ask these questions at the end. So it's important that you start thinking about, okay, how do I strategize to get all the information to make sure I'm making a good decision for myself? And that's how you do it. You start looking at the social media, the web pages. I would avoid looking at, different opinion forums, because opinion forums are not always fact. Those are someone's experiences and they're passing it off as if it's fact, and I would avoid that. So just as you begin your research, always look at the facts of the university, ask the university if they offer certain things, and you can use some of the points of interest that I just mentioned in this third pillar. So the fourth one is identifying your support system. How do you identify your support system? Well, you need to figure out, am I going to do this all by myself? Am I going to have the help of my parents? Am I going to have the help of my brother or sister or another family member? Am I going to have my school counselor help me, or are there local organizations in the community that can help me? Or maybe you want to hire a private counselor. That is a very real thing. So there's many private counselors all over the world who help students with exactly that. Now, you want to ask yourself, why is this important to identify my support system? So the reason why you want to identify someone as your support system is because this will be your go-to person during the entire process. Because this process is really about a year long, and there will be ups and downs. There will be moments of doubt. There will be moments of feeling defeat or overwhelmed, and you need someone there to help support you along the way. This is your go-to person when you feel stuck, confused, or any negative emotion. And they're there also to celebrate with you during the process with all the mini wins and the big wins at the end, especially when the decisions come out this time of year, which is usually March, April. They're there to help celebrate all of your hard work and your accomplishments. And that's why you need to identify who your support system is, because they're there to cheer you on and make sure that you achieve your goals. Now, my last and final step of how to begin the college application process is creating a timeline. You would be surprised at how many students absolutely wait till the very last minute to even consider applying or working on their applications. And if you can start this process well in advance to any deadline, this is actually going to make your life so much easier, and no drama, no stress. And if you decide to work with someone, whether it's a family member or it's a counselor or somebody in your community, they're going to tell you, know your deadlines, start the process early, and understand what is needed for each application, because there are different components, such as an essay, filling the application out, getting letters of recommendation. Maybe you need to take an entrance exam like the SAT or something like that. Maybe you need to prepare for an interview or create a portfolio. There are so many different components to an application. And you want to make sure that you are prepared and you put in your 100% effort. And you want to make sure that you are the very best possible applicant before you click submit, because that is the key to all of this. If you are starting early, you put in your best effort, you work with somebody who can give you feedback, who can honestly give you genuine feedback, who knows what you need to put into the application, well, the results are only going to hopefully be positive for you. And with the right guidance and the support and knowing what it is that you want out of the experience, it's all going to only be positive. So I hope that this live was helpful for each and every one of you who joined me today. I know that applying to college can feel overwhelming, it can feel scary, but actually it's super, super easy. You guys, I just wish people would listen to this message, because it's not scary. It's really super simple. And every time I work with a student, I break it down into small, manageable tasks, and they're literally like, this is it. This is it. And I'm like, yes, guys, this is it. So if you're looking for a stress-free, no drama, removing the fear, only creating magical results for yourself, especially when it comes to getting, acceptances, I invite you to check out my website, get in touch with me, book a consultation call. And let's see what we can do together to help make sure that you are on the right track for all of this. And if you don't know what you want to do, I want to make this very clear. If you're thinking about taking a gap year, it's also important to consult with somebody who knows what a gap year is, how to help you kind of create a timeline and what it is that you need to do if you do decide to take a gap year, what steps you should be taking during that time off before you actually start applying for a undergraduate program, if that's something you still want to do in the future. So here you are, my 5 simple steps to begin the college application process. It's there to help you. It's there to make sure that you create miraculous results in your life. And I hope to catch you guys on the next video.